Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with Simba. I've got a hot pan which is heating up on medium heat. Today we're going to be cooking fried okra with fried mackerel for the meat lovers. So it's both vegetarian and both meat as well. As for the okra, I've cut it in two ways. I've cut it in circular motion and also as almost like rectangular motion. You also need a nice milk and egg mix, which can pretty much can be 150 mils of milk to roughly one egg, or two eggs to whatever amount of milk, depending the quantity that you're going to be cooking. Then you're also going to need a nice rinsing bowl, where after you've put the okra into the milk and egg mix to rinse it off before we put it into the flour mix, which is made up of your choice of spices. In this case, can be anything, can be from paprika, black pepper, curry powder, nutmeg, ginger, garlic, parsley, whatever flavors that rock your boat. But I always say if you're cooking for the first time, pick 3 spices. It makes life easier. Then we're gonna macro the side there. Okay, so without further ado, we take our first bowl of okra, the circular version that we've just done. Now with this one, I'm just going to go into my lovely milk mix and just pour in the okra there. Then I'm just going to get myself a nice little fork, and we're just going to let all of that mix in and take in all the flavor. The whole idea of putting the okra into this milk and egg mix is so that when we now put the okra into the binding agent, obviously the flour and the spices, is going to create a nice little crust on the outside. Now, if you didn't do this step and you just quickly just put the okra in the flour mix and fry it, it would fall off the okra. This at least guarantees that the okra will at least hold its shape and form as we cook. So now that I've put the first batch of okra in there, I now go and get my nice fork. And what we're going to do now is we want to drain this liquid. We don't want this to be too soft. So I go into my skillet, that's what we put on the side there, and we just drain out the excess liquid, as you can see. Then, just since I'm showing you a test trial, I then pour that okra into our lovely flour mix over there. And I just get my spoon and I just mix it in nicely. Now, if you are somebody who does not want to be doing too much work as well, you can actually use the same square mix here to drain this off. So now, as you can see, this okra is nicely coated and stuff and everything. The next stage for us is just going to be to put the okra into the hot pan. Now, I can look for another skillet or I can look for another fork, depending on how I want to do it. So I'm just going to get myself another serving fork like this. And then once again, do the same thing. Rinse off any excess flour, as you can see right now. Then we go straight across to our pan. Unfortunately, as you can see, our pan is only starting to heat up now, but it's okay. Since this is going to be a process anyway, we can go back again, rinse off some more of the extra flour, put it in there. Yeah, let's just fill up our pan with at least a few of the granules of the okra. Right. Go back to the pan. Yep. Let's just get a few more. Few more, just rinsing off all that excess flour. Now, this is a very good dish, especially if you're a vegetarian and you don't like meat. I know, either for religious purposes or for other purposes. It's a good snack after the gym. I'm actually cooking straight after the gym, so that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so we got a few of them in there now. Now, what I'm going to do now, we go back to our pan. As you can see right now, we are just going to... Right now, the main issue I'm having is the oil is probably taking a bit too long to heat up, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, as you can see, nicely there, it's starting to fry. As you can see, that lovely coating that we've just created is coming off nicely. Now, depending on the pan that you're using, as you can see, this is kind of like an old pan of mine. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge there. So what I normally would have done is I would have added a tablespoon of cooking oil. But for our purposes here, I'm actually going to add another tablespoon of cooking oil to this thing. Now you're going to ask me why. I just want there to be oil like that. This is what I want. I want there to be oil like that. Now in the meantime, I can just put the lid on, let it simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now back to our ingredients again. As you can see, we've got the other version of the okra and stuff. You can do the same thing in the mixing liquid here. Now while this is going like this, I think we can save on time and just drain